Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today I know a lot of you guys are expecting me to continue to talk and gush over tier 3 Thor, and I want to do more videos about him. But first, I've collected 4 really important moments from recent live streams in the past couple weeks, and I wanted to share them with you guys because there's a lot of good information that you guys can take from it for future character builds and game interaction mechanics, and also there's some pretty hilarious stuff in there too. So the first one I want to share with you guys involves Jean Grey, and it's a perfect example of why most of the top level players will recommend that you give her a CTP of Destruction. Now, of course, the guard break immunity is an obvious thing to give a character like Jean Grey because although she gives herself super armor with her Bonds of Destiny, she's still susceptible to super armor penetration from characters like Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Cable, etc. So she needs that guard break immunity. That's obvious. What's not obvious to a lot of players is the actual penetration, that 10% chance when attacking to penetrate anywhere from 10% all the way to 30% chance depending on how powerful the amplification effect is. So of course a 200% increase would be equal to a 30% chance to penetrate. And the best way to illustrate that reasoning for this obelisk over any other obelisk over an obelisk of, let's say, CTP of Authority or something else with guard break and fire damage is the fact that for times when you're going to attack someone, let's say with her 4th skill, and you don't have the 5th skill because it's not on cooldown, she can't give herself the 80% chance to penetrate. When your proc activates on the 4th skill, because for example Phoenix Descent has so many hits, you'll be able to trigger that proc and you'll be able to penetrate and kill most enemies. And so you basically have 2 instances where you have penetration chance on the 5th skill and any skills that follow after that for, I believe it's 10 seconds, that's the buff effect duration. In addition to that, for whatever reason, especially at the beginning of fights, especially at the beginning of something like Conquest or Timeline, if Jean Grey doesn't start with her 5th skill, you still have the chance to wipe the board and clear out all of your enemies by doing the 4th skill, for example, and having the proc activate with the obelisk. So I'm going to cut to a couple of Timeline clips where you can see this happening very clearly and why it's such an important thing to this character to really make them super powerful at all times and super threatening.
That's a really good way of putting it, actually. Don't kill me, Scott. Let me kill you first. They might not paywall Deadpool, guys.
The second one I want to go over with you guys involves Clea and the World Boss Dimension Rifts. So this is not a regular World Boss clear, but it is pretty hilarious because it involves a skill that we kind of forget exists for the most part. It does happen with Scarlet Witch, but otherwise we don't see much of the silence effect. But it has a very pronounced kind of reaction from the World Boss Dimension Rift enemies because they are affected by it. So in this case, Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian or Black Dwarf, when they're silenced, they don't do very much. Ebony Maw can still throw out his regular stones, the rocks, but Cull Obsidian actually can't do anything at all. It's really hilarious. Apparently, he doesn't have an auto attack skill as far as the game mechanics are concerned and the coding. So if you silence him, all he does is he restarts his entry animation because the game, for whatever reason, doesn't understand that he doesn't have an attack, so the game thinks that it's the beginning of the fight against Cull Obsidian because it thinks that Ebony Maw just died. So he vanishes, he teleports down from the top of the screen, and he roars. The exact same thing that he does when that second part of the fight initially begins. And he'll continue to do that, as you're going to see from the clip, on a loop until you either run out of silence or he dies. And you can guess what happens and why it's just so amusing to find little niche interactions like this, which make even pretty unusual characters or not, you know, often used characters like Clea super entertaining and under the right circumstances.
Ah, he's silenced. Ow, why did I... No attacks for you, bro. No attacks. All you get to do is throw rocks. That's it. Only rocks. No attacks for you, bro. Just stand there. Get silenced. Just stand there. He keeps teleporting. He keeps roaring and teleporting. This is amazing. He keeps like teleporting because he can't do any of his moves. That's amazing.
The third moment I want to share with you guys involves a recent tier 2 and an existing tier 1 character. So at first I want to point to you guys that I have tier 2'd Goliath, this character here, and I'll be doing a breakdown on him in the next couple of days and a full review of his powers at tier 2. But I also want to relate him back to Nadia because the clip kind of involves both of these characters. In this case, I had a tier 2 ticket that I wanted to use on Nadia, and I was going to naturally tier 2 Goliath with his biometrics because he's a bioselector character. He's very easy to get to tier 2 that way. I have tons of bioselectors. You get them from Shadowland. It's not difficult. In the case of Nadia, her bios are extremely rare because she's a bio subscription character, and so I was going to use the tier 2 ticket on her. However, in the clip that you're about to see, I got extremely lucky with her gear rolls, as you guys have seen me do before with other characters like Captain America. And so I was basically in a position where I could wait. And it actually wasn't myself who realized it initially. I was having some hesitation, but a fan in the chat on the live stream pointed out to me that I still have quite a lot of time on my bio subscription. And this is a piece of advice that I can give to any of you guys out there who have more endgame rosters or who don't plan on using their bio subscription for multiple characters, they're just using it for one. In this case, I still have 10 days left on my bio subscription, and I've been slowly collecting for the past 3 or 4 days her bios, Nadia's bios, so that I could get up to 150 so I could naturally tier 2 her. Now, while that may seem strange, it actually makes more sense because once my bio subscription stops selecting Nadia, once I get her to tier 2 in 2 days, I'll still have 7 or 8 days left on my subscription, and I don't have any other characters to select biometrics for. Now, sure, I could collect additional bios, let's say for Hyperion, in case he ever gets a rework, Netmarble, but this method of saving them up for Nadia and naturally tier 2ing her would cost the same amount as it would have cost for Goliath. They're both regular tier 2s, so it's 1,000 Chaos Lordstones and 800 Black Antimatter. But instead, I get to keep those biometrics from the bio subscription, and I more efficiently use them instead of just throwing away the last 10 or so days on just random characters because there are none of the kind of rare, ultra rare characters left for me to choose.
If I use a ticket, the problem is... Here's the problem. I need to use a ticket for her as well. Okay? Oh shit, this could happen now. 5 or less.
Oh! Baby! Woo!
Oh my goodness! That was nuts! I can smell it!
Finally, we have a very lucky clip of me pulling a CTP of patience while I was manually running a memory mission, and it was my final boost point, which made it all the more special because I would have run out of boost points and gotten to 100, which would have eliminated me from getting, or even the possibility of getting, any kind of boost point reward until the next day.
Oh, CTP of patience! Oh, I got it! Woo! I got it, boys! CTP! I got a CTP! That was my last boost points! That was the final boost point! That was my last boost point! Woo! Good stats. Oh, wow. 4 seconds. 27-22. I'm feeling good. How about you?
So I hope you guys enjoyed getting caught up on all of the most epic events in the recent live streams. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.